Hello and welcome back. Hope you all are doing good. Welcome to the very first episode of Desmo Podcasts. One of you on my previous videos suggested that I bring back these POV style videos like the good old days. Thank you for your suggestion. I've been thinking about bringing these videos back, but in the form of longer form podcasts. You know, I love filming things and photographing things, which is why my content production kind of evolved from these POV styled one angle like videos into something more like storytelling with a little bit of music, interesting cuts, many shots and all that. But then I thought, my channel started with videos like these, and it makes sense for me to bring these kind of videos back. So every now and then I'll be uploading videos like this with a topic related to cycling, probably invite a guest and we just talk about it. So there won't be any music, there won't be any cuts, just talking about whatever the topic is for that day. So if this is your first time on the channel, Desmo is a channel all about cycling. You can go and check out some other videos to get a gist of what I usually do. If you like what I do, then please hit that subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you'll be notified next time when I put out something. Today's topic is about finding the right bike for yourself. Well, I've been cycling since 2020, but then I have also been cycling from my childhood, and then I started bicycle commuting back in 2011, 2012. And I had a road bike back then. And then I took a long break in between until 2020 when I bought an e-bike. It kind of started back again, and I have never looked back ever since. So in that journey, I have been on a quest of finding the right bike every now and then. And I have some thoughts about it. So I'm going to share those thoughts in this podcast. I must warn you that this video is going to be long. If you don't want to watch the visuals, it's okay. You can just switch it off, and you can just listen as well. Finding the right bike is not just about researching online, checking the size, going to a shop and buying it. In fact, the quest for your right bike starts after you buy your first bike. How funny is that? So when you buy your first bike, you start realizing and you start understanding the things about living with that bike. Say it could be maintenance, it could be handling, that you will only understand after you own a bike. For example, my good friend Winston, if you are watching this, hi, he bought a new bike just a few months ago because he wanted to start cycling. When we both of us picked up that bike, and on our first ride, the crank came out loose, and by the time he reached home, I think that crank was almost damaged and broken. He did not see that coming. He panicked. But then it wasn't really a serious thing. But then he wasn't really expecting that. So he went to Decathlon, got it fixed, and the repair charges were a fraction of a price compared to probably if he had bought a much expensive bike. So there he kind of got an idea that okay, there are these niggles that can happen in foreseeable future. Just the other day he messaged me that the shifter is broken. Then again, you can get it replaced for not so much money. So things like these is something that you know only when you buy a bike. So after you buy your first bike, you do a couple of rides. One of two things can happen. One is you will not really like it and you will kind of sell that bike. The second thing is you will start loving it and you will start developing an acquired taste. You will go on the internet, watch more videos about how to be more efficient on the bicycle. Okay, you will probably start to set the seat height right. Probably you will change a few things on the bike, change the handlebar height and all of that, try to make it more comfortable. And then you start buying accessories to kind of customize that bike to fit you exactly for the kind of cycling that you intend to do. So that is the time when the actual cycling bug bites you. And that's when you start thinking of buying things. And this, I tell you, is a very tricky rabbit hole to fall into. So when this happened to me, you would find me in Decathlon every week trying to buy probably a new colored jersey, probably a new padded shorts because the previous one was not padded comfortable enough. Then you will go and buy another colored one because it wasn't matching with your bike. Probably buy a few ornamental like upgrades and accessories to your bike, and that goes on for a few months until you realize that the bike that you're riding is not the right one for you and you want to upgrade, which is totally valid because the very fact that you feel like you want an upgrade or a better bike is because you've kind of understood that machine very well. It happened with me when in 2011 2012 when I used to commute on my road bike. I did not know anything about cycling. I went to a shop in Mumbai. I used to live in Mumbai back then. I saw a road bike because I love the way these road bikes look. I bought a road bike. I did not know that road bikes came in different sizes. I just went and bought, and turns out it was a 56 size road bike. To give you a comparison, today I ride a size 50 road bike, and my gravel bike in trek sizing is size 54. But 56 is a bike that people who are above 6 feet ride. And I somehow bought that bike, and I used to struggle so much. I did not know how to set the right seat height. I used to struggle quite a lot, and I used to ride it. And after 1 or 2 years, I kind of gave up. Until when I got back into cycling again in 2020. That's when I started researching about bike fit. I started researching about getting the right size, setting the right seat height. That's when cycling became more interesting to me because I started really enjoying it. After a while, it kind of struck to me that I need an upgrade because I had set my preferences. That I want to commute, leisure rides, and I want a bike that is more efficient, and I want a bike that is comfortable and not very heavy on the pocket. At this point, I started looking at bikes, and I wanted to get a good road bike because road bikes have always been something that I was interested in. And I started doing a little bit of trial and error with used bikes. But this is where what I should have done was to go to a bike shop and take a bike fit. I did not do that because I did not know where they did it. So in a bike fit, what happens is they really assess your riding style, your posture, your fitness, your height, and various measurements of your body, and suggest a bike frame and geometry with so much detail, like what should be the stem length, what should be the handlebar width, seat height, and frame size, and all of that. It is so detailed that on the long run, it kind of saves you a lot of money when you have to go and make an expensive purchase. On the other hand, what I did was I bought a second-hand bike. It was B-Twins Tri-Band 3. It was a great bike. After riding it for a few hundred kilometers, I realized that the frame was a little too small. Because it was small, the position was way too racy and aggressive. And I did not want that because that was not particularly my style. So this is what I'm saying. The more I rode, I kind of understood what I really wanted. I then bought another bike called Bianchi Viani Roan 7. It was a great bike, but then it did not have an ideal group set that I wanted. Eventually, long story short, today I have 3 bikes. People ask me, why do you need so many bikes? Well, here is my explanation. All 3 bikes have their own purpose. Now, first I have a Trek Checkpoint ALR4. It is a gravel bike. In fact, it works like an all-rounder bike. It is very fast on straight roads. It has wider tires. It is very comfortable when I take it on country roads, off-road and all that. And that is my favorite out of the 3 bikes that I have. It's kind of my go-to bike if ever I plan to do a longer distance ride or a trip or anything like that. And second bike that I have is a Scholarian, which used to be a fixie. Now it's a geared bike. I have not done a video about it. I don't want to talk about it much. I will make a video, then you will see. It's a steel frame bike, and I got it for a great price, and I love that thing because that frame is so responsive and it is so smooth. um, it's a very unique experience riding it. I really love riding it. I use it mostly for city commutes, short commutes. And the third one is this bike called Sab. It's a custom bike. It was built by a gentleman from whom I bought. He bought the frame from Italy. It's a very light aluminum carbon frame. It has good wheels, 28C wheels, because it's a road bike, and it kind of gives me a nice change when I don't want to ride the other two bikes. The reason why I have these three bikes is because it's kind of a good variety for me. I ride the trek continuously for a few hundred kilometers. I want some change, so I hop onto the road bike. It kind of feels fresh. I mean, it feels nice. The concept is called as N+1, right? If you are passionate about something, you will always have more than one of those. For example, I am also a musician. I have multiple guitars. Bicycles are so much more like that. So long story short, you just don't go and buy a bike and then it turns out to be a perfect bike. Well, if it is, then you are extremely lucky. Usually it is a journey. It is a personal journey, because over the period of time, over the miles that you put into riding, you kind of understand my cycling needs might be very different from what your needs are. In fact, in 2020 I started with an e-bike. I eventually sold it off because my tastes changed. In fact, I kind of understood more about what I wanted from the bicycle. So today the three bicycles I have are probably the ones that I will keep for a lifetime. And at this point I feel that okay, I have kind of achieved the right equation where all of these bikes, use them exactly for the kind of riding I do, and I'm really happy with them. Well, so that is what today's podcast was all about. Feel free to suggest some interesting topics. I will even plan to bring and ask some of my friends to come into this podcast, give their opinion about different topics about cycling, and have fun with it. If you've liked it, please give this video a thumbs up so that it will reach more people, and let's build a community around this. That's it for today. I will see you in the next one then.